Come let us make bricks and burn them hard. We'll build a city with a tower for the world and climb so we can reach anything we may propose. Anything at all. Build me up, tear me down like a skyscraper. Build me up, then down.
Bunsen metal!
That was pretty cool.
It's supposed to be like the liquid metal.
Oh, liquid metal! Bunsen metal! Cool. So what's up, guys? Fred, I wanted to start off the show by asking you. What's up, dude? What have you been up to?
Not a lot. Do you guys listen to liquid metal?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. There's not usually something good on, but
Yeah,
sometimes there is.
when I'm not listening to something I found, or I'll just put that on for the mind numbing.
So
Ian
I
Christie
used
has
to
good
have-
stuff sometimes.
Yeah,
I used to have a subscription to satellite radio, and I would listen. I usually listen to my own music in the car,
same.
but I would every so often flip over to liquid metal just to hear what was going on, and it usually wasn't stuff that I liked.
Hmm.
But every so often, I'd flip over and there was something good, like Demigod or Deicide. And I'm like, oh, hey, maybe they're finally, playing things that I'm interested in. And then right after that, boom, Pantera. I'm like, guys. Like, they got me every single time. It would go straight from something good to Pantera.
Yeah, it's usually Ian Christie's shows are good. Like, he'll play, actually good stuff. And then at night when there's, no hosts and they just leave on, death and black metal. But that's, at 10.
It's at, midnight.
Yeah, midnight.
Yeah, late at night they'll play, Vital Remains and stuff when nobody's up. During the day, it's mostly, metalcore stuff that
Playing,
I don't think any of us would like.
36 Crazy Fists and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Please no.
Yeah.
Or then you switch over to Octane. Remember we switched over to Octane the other day?
Yeah.
What the
Any
hell
band
was
with
that?
a number in the name worries me before I hear them.
36 Crazy Fist?
I mean, that one kind of speaks for itself, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I haven't been up to much this week. It's been pretty slow week. How about you guys?
We can finally get intimate without a guest.
Yeah, all these people horning in on our intimate conversations.
forget that. Forget that noise.
Yeah,
Till the next time.
but yeah, I don't know. How about you, Paul?
Neck is stiff as a board. Going to some shows.
Why?
The Bang Bang.
Yeah, me
The
and
answer.
did a bang bang.
I almost went to a show on Friday, but it was sold out, so I didn't go.
Who was playing?
It was Tomb Mold, Undeath, and Outer Heaven, who I've only heard in passing.
Yeah, I haven't
Doesn't
heard
sound
that
like you
last
missed
one.
anything.
I mean, I've seen Tomb Mold, 3 or 4 times. They're amazing live. They're fantastic live.
They're badass.
And I actually really like their stuff. The third album didn't do too much for me, but I really like their early stuff, like the stuff before that.
All right,
I haven't heard the new one yet.
Let's cut this, guys. I'm just kidding.
Is that their newest, the third one that just came out?
It's the 4th one.
Oh, it's the 4th one, okay.
Yeah. So
I've
the
just been
first
seeing
two,
a lot of...
first two were like Demi-Lich meets Bolt Thrower kind of worship, and I really like those. The third one kind of lost me a little bit. Like, it wasn't bad, but just didn't hold my attention as much.
When they got Planetary, huh?
That's the one, yeah. Cool artwork, though.
Yeah, it's like a modern Seagrave or something.
Yeah.
I've just been seeing people talking about the way they look, and they're like, this is a death metal band, guys. Look, this is a death metal band.
Well, they're not wrong. They're all ugly.
No, that's a question. This is a death metal band?
Oh.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, they're ugly. They're good. They pass.
Yeah, we did
I
the.
find that death metal bands that don't look like death metal bands are a lot easier for me to uh, understand than black metal bands that don't look like black metal.
What would that case be?
Yeah,
It's just
Drumelec.
black metal has much more of a visual
Yeah.
band aesthetic than death metal tends to have, right? So like when you have a black metal band that looks like, let's put it this way: if the band photo for Mayhem was the same as the photo from Amorphous on Tales from the Thousand Lakes, I'd be like, this is not what I'm expecting to see. But like on Tales, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. It's a bunch of Finnish kids recording death metal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I
Yeah.
wouldn't care too much, but you know, there's a minor expectation of what the band is going to look like.
Black metal's more mystical. Death metal's more youthful. So I think in that way, it's like okay to just look like some kid. But if you're in a black metal band, you should look like some demon from hell.
Pretty much. That's why there's a couple bands that I really like. When you see their photos on Metal Archives, especially if it's like the only photo that's around of them, you're just like, what the hell? Like, you guys
I like
seen Hemlock from the U.S.?
No.
Yeah,
No, not Hemlock. Sorry, Terror from
Hemdale.
Terror of the Trees.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that guy's picture.
It's a fucking great EP. But the photo is not what I would expect to see for a black metal band.
He looks like he would be rapping with like Atmosphere and like a Minneapolis scene.
Right? And dude was in Hemlock too. That band was awesome.
Looks like a cool
think-
dude.
His
I think he's in-
Eminence the Wicked.
I think he's in Exhumer now too.
Oh, Exhumer.
Yeah.
What the? That's nuts.
The photo for Bril Vanadu is not what I would expect either.
I know how to spell that.
Yeah, me too. I know how to spell Bril Vanadu.
Brulvahnatu.
T-U.
TU, yeah. Really cool band. Photo is a guy in a sweater with a taxidermied bobcat or something.
Oh, I remember that.
But like, fucking wicked band.
Yeah, I remember listening to that, being actually like pretty impressed by it.
Yeah. Uterine Acid Swishes, such a good album. They're all
see
good,
that?
really.
That might have been my my pick for that question you were asking everybody.
What?
The question that Fred was asking people on Instagram, like what's
Oh.
the what's the album that you found from the page?
Yeah.
I was gonna
I
say
like those.
Thromdor. I think Paul beat me to it.
Yeah, that was Paul at Thromdar. That is a good album.
Yeah, it is. Gotta cover it one day.
I just love that I asked that, and a couple people are like, this band. I'm like, I've never posted them.
Oh, we were.
Somebody said Blues Traveler.
Yeah, no, I know that.
That was
guy
pretty
is
good.
just Pulling my leg.
I zoomed into your collection and I saw it.
I've had people do that. Like if I post
Like the
a
wall.
story or something of me holding a particular album, people are like, "The album on the rack. What is that?"
Oh, this
That
one.
album is "You Have Too Much Time."
Got to be zooming in on Fred's collection.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'd do the same. I'd be like, yeah, I see the album you're holding. What's behind it?
Yeah. What
Yeah,
are you?
just take a picture of the spines.
Yeah. What are you gatekeeping?
Gatekeeping.
Yeah. Anyway, Dan and I went to a show, so we haven't done that in a while.
Nah, it's been quite a while.
Bulldozer, right?
No, that was
No.
Saturday.
Oh.
But
I didn't go.
We saw X.
Oh, how was that?
It was
cold.
interesting.
Oh yeah, you could tell him about the shit that was going on in the pit.
Oh God.
Let's start with the music. So
All right.
No, it was sick because like all the like black metal that I've seen like in concert, you know, it's like that fast paced shit. But this was like my first like a cult sounding band. Like I know Dan, you saw Mortuary Drape, right?
Yeah.
So you
So
already
that was
got
probably my
Oh yeah.
kind of experience with that.
Yeah, so it was just cool. Like they had like, the keyboards doing the intros for like each song. It wasn't like a sample. It was a guy actually playing it, and like throughout the song too, they all had like robes on and shit. And
Yeah, very theatrical.
yeah,
Mortuary
Nice.
Drape was kind of the same way, robes. I always like that look and that sound together. It goes so well.
yeah,
Yeah, Verathron did a similar thing too. It was very
Yeah,
theatrical.
miss them
we
too.
missed them. That sucked. But
Yep.
yeah, then we saw who else, like Bloody Vengeance and a song from Death Worship.
2 songs from Death Worship.
Yeah,
They sounded like static when they were live.
yeah, you can just hear the drums and then like noise. Or like, oh,
Ooh.
you heard that song, you heard it all.
That's Ryan Forster, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's he? I think he's the only like actual permanent member in the band. Who is he playing with?
It's the guys from Bloody Vengeance too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They're kind
He-
of cool.
Yeah, he went up during their set and grabbed a guitar and they started playing Satanic Lust.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
But yeah, the pit was interesting. There was just like some kids in there.
Some youths,
Yeah, some guy wearing like a kilt, cat corpse paint on.
fat black guy with a kilt, short dreadlocks, and like white face. It was interesting.
Yeah, and then like the smallest like toothpick of a kid.
Yeah, man.
Right.
That guy must have been like 5'2".
It was like 4'9" or something.
Yeah, he was small, but he was like proportioned.
Yeah.
like he looked like he could have been like a tall Chad, except like hit with a shrink ray.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
he
was
got
going hard.
he got a partial dose of Honey I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. He got hit with it for like 0.2 milliseconds or something. That's what happens. But he was going hard, man. He looked pissed and he was fucking. I wouldn't say he was wrecking everybody, but he was acting like he could have.
No, the kilt guy was.
Yeah,
He was like
he was doing like the zombie dance. Did you see that?
Yeah, he was like the brick wall in the pit. But it was funny though. During Backslash Acts, they're fucking doing where you grab your people when you get in a line and you headbang in unison, and then they're doing that at first, and then the bright idea was like, oh, let me get a video of this. So then he asked like the oldest motherfucker there with like winter white hair, the oldest head.
Guy must have been in his 70s.
Yeah, and he asked him like, I didn't of course hear anything, but from what happened, he asked him, "Hey, can you record us while we do this for during the show in the pit?" I was like, "What?" Everyone was just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like, he just kind of
Didn't you say they asked other people and they were saying no?
yeah. He asked the old guy. But
If your biggest concern about headbanging is being filmed headbanging, you're not doing it right.
no, exactly. It was just like just cringe. I was like, you guys don't even know who you're seeing right now. Like, these guys, these guys are like pretty ancient, but not as ancient as Bulldozer though, who I saw like a couple nights later with Ares Kingdom and Deceased. That was a great show. I ended up going to the one in San Diego rather than in LA. And yeah, on Saturday they had like maybe 50, 60 people there, and I'm like looking at the Saturday show like online, and there's like easily like over like 100, close to 200 people there. So it was just like
wow.
a striking difference of like the attendance for San Diego.
Yeah, the LA show, there was a shitload of people there.
Yeah, I was just like looking at their posts and shit.
Too many people. It's like, what do you do with all those people, right?
Yeah, that's that was like the nematodes right there.
Serious? Not nematodes, like the anchovies.
Oh yeah. But
Do you guys prefer smaller shows where there are less people, or shows that are bigger with a bigger crowd and
I
maybe
personally
more
prefer
energy?
smaller.
yeah, well now
Yeah.
going to that that San Diego show, like it's just a stark difference of like I was able to get to the front super easy. I was able to go back, you know, the actual walkway. There's just like old guys just like chilling at the little tables across from the bar. They weren't even coming up until you know a bulldozer came, so I was able to be right where I wanted to be during Ares Kingdom and Deceased. And I was running a little late to the show, and I you know, I'm walking past these guys. I see the bar. It's the first time I go to that venue, and yeah, I walk past these guys, and I didn't realize at the time, but it was you know, bulldozer. So I like asked AC. I didn't recognize him. I was like, "Oh hey, like, is this where we, you know, get checked in for tickets and all that?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just getting my wristband right now." He's like, "With the band?" I was like, "Oh, okay. Thanks. I'll go ahead and, you know, go past you." Because I heard Ares Kingdom playing already, so I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go in there," because I've been trying to see them for a while, but they only come as far as Texas. So they finally came down to California, so I had to see them. They covered Slaughter Lord, Van Halen, and you know, some of their newest stuff. They played some stuff from Incinerary too, which is like my favorite. But yeah, Deceased went on right after them, and that was like a crazy theatrical show. Like King Fowley was just like grabbing the musicians' beards and like fucking putting his hands over their eyes like while they're doing solos, and it must be like so nerve-wracking playing with them, because like he, like, when there's like an important part that's gonna come up for the song, like he looks right over the neck of the guitar making sure you're doing it right. Like he would like come to like the drummer, and like he would be doing a fill or something, and like he would just catch it. And he was like kind of like a conductor, because like every time the riff would be like dun, dun, when it would go higher, he would like raise his hands like high and shit. But yeah, he just had a lot of energy, you know, just being, you know, the original drummer, and he was just singing for this shit. It was like all new guys except for maybe an original member, or at least an older member on guitar. But it was still cool to see them. They had a short set though. It was like maybe 6 songs, but you know, their songs are like over 5-6 minutes long anyway.
Yeah.
But it was a sick just heavy metal, death metal show from Deceased. And then yeah, Bulldozer was great though. Like he had like the cape on. He looked like Dr. Orpheus and shit from Venture Brothers.
Your very soul.
Yeah, and he had like the gnarliest sideburns I've ever seen. They like went past. They were like going onto his head, like past his eyebrows and everything.
Had you not seen like videos or pictures of him in like
Not lately, no.
since like the old days?
Yeah, I've seen the old days, but
Yeah, because he's been rocking that look for a little while now.
oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't
That's a
seen
cover of Day of Wrath, right?
that. No,
Say what?
he has long hair in Day Wrath.
Yeah, but I mean the pointed cape.
Oh yeah,
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 he's
no,
always
been-
he's always
been
had
doing
the
that
Dracula
forever.
look.
yeah.
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 No, I meant like his hair.
Oh yeah, well I mean you get old, right?
Yeah, and then I passed by him. You know, like I said, he had like the hoodie on and a beanie and a jacket and shit. So I wasn't able to, you know, see that it was a recognizable
Yeah,
feature.
for some reason, I'm thinking he's already wearing the Dracula cape,
Oh,
like
no.
in line. So he just had his street clothes on.
Yeah, it was just he was just like all just in a hoodie, a beanie,
Oh,
and all
okay,
this.
okay.
Yeah.
I understand how you could miss that. For some reason, I'm thinking like,
No, he didn't have
you
his
know,
guitar in his
he's-
hand, and
yeah. He wasn't yelling yet.
no, but yeah, great show. They played a shitload of songs from Day of the Wrath and what's that one from '87?
Cutthroat.
No, the album.
I think it's called like
Some
7
I
or
think it's just
something.
IX or something.
Yeah, IX.
Yeah, they played you know, Whiskey Time and all the
They
bangers.
better
Like,
play Whiskey Time.
yeah,
I think they always do.
yeah, some songs from Final Separation too, Sex Symbols, bullshit. What else they play? Never Relax. Let's see what else. Iona, the very best. And,
Yeah, that's the one I remember. This second album, I don't think I've ever like listened to it in full, or maybe I haven't listened to it ever. I don't know.
that was pretty sick. Yeah, but they did play Cutthroat and Insurrection of the Living Damned, The Great Deceiver too. And then he was saying that he's like, this is a girl I love. She's actually from San Diego. And I don't know if it was, I don't think it's Iona Girl, but I guess another song about a girl. And
Is that what the guitar pick was?
oh yeah, and then I caught that pic at the end. That was it was funny. Has some tits on it and shit. But yeah, it was a cool show up. I fist bump, King Fally on the way out.
Later, dude.
I was like, yeah. He's all take care of yourself. So yeah,
I've
it
never
was,
seen
advice.
him live, but I feel like he's very, very approachable.
yeah, he was cool. And he like grabbed a drumstick like during this blasting part, and he was like crashing the cymbal and shit. And what else was he doing? Oh, he put like on a zombie mask, and he was like doing the zombie crawl across this, walking across the stage and shit.
Man, guy's got energy.
No, he does. It was crazy. And then he came up during Bulldozer's set too. So yeah, that was a great show. And like I said, having that small venue or small audience was sick, but probably not for them. They probably like the LA show better.
Yeah, probably. I mean, for a band, you want a huge crowd, but like, as an attendee, you kind of
Yeah, he scored.
like, you like fucking, more intimate.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll mind going over there again. It was only like an hour and a half to get there and back.
Huh? I thought it was
No,
like a
it's not too
2.5 hour drive.
No,
Damn.
just gotta go 80, 90.
Okay, just go 90.
Yeah, you'll get
Was
there.
the venue
It's
big?
not that far if you break the sound barrier.
It's like Whoopi Goldberg and Rat Race, where they like, where they're driving the rocket car.
No, but the venue was like the pit area wasn't too big. Like maybe I can say maybe like 10 rows of people, maybe 15 rows of people back. And then there's the bar, and then behind there was like the merch area, the restroom, and I guess like the VIP area, like where all the bands like hang out.
Sounds kind of big. 15. There's like 15 rows of people that are able to stand there.
Yeah, but they fucking, it was like the Back show where they just have like the big opening for people to pit, and it's like
Yeah.
only like 5 people.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of people at that one.
No, it was way bigger than that venue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe like 3 times that size. But
When Death Worship went on, that's when everybody fucking got in there.
yeah, well, yeah, that was the shows. It was really fun. And
I wish Bulldozer had a Canadian stop. That would have been awesome. I'd love to see Bulldozer.
I thought they were stopping in Canada, weren't they?
I don't think so. I remember seeing the tour announcement and being disappointed.
Because Hope said something about Aries Kingdom and Deceased being there, or they're gonna be there, like later September.
Maybe there
I thought they
were
were-
no Toronto dates? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, now I'm concerned. I need to find out.
Yeah, find out.
And then later in the month I got Future Pile and Cephalotripsy, so then I'll be good for the rest of the year.
Yeah, then
That's
maybe
it.
we'll have to
Just
play some
retire for the
shows.
rest of the
Yeah, then I won't have any more content for this.
Bulldozer and Deceased apparently played here in November 2022. Huh.
I don't see why they can't return.
Yeah, what the hell?
Well, don't worry, you
I
got
heard
the.
Varathron's coming next year.
Oh, okay, cool. Thought we were missing forever.
No, I don't think so.
But
They put on an awesome show. They were so good.
I was gonna say you got the CC to look forward to.
Yeah, that's not too far away. 9 days?
Oh damn, it's that close? I thought it was like a month out.
No, September 27th.
There you go.
Yeah, okay, here we go. So, alright, so I stand corrected. There was a Canadian date for Bulldozer in Vancouver, but it had not come to my end of the country.
Gotta make the
That
voyage.
sucks.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah,
at the same
how far
time-
would you have to travel?
For Vancouver,
It's like across the country, right? It's like
It's like a fucking 5-hour flight.
5-hour flight?
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
from New York to California, basically,
Yeah.
or like
Damn.
Washington.
That's like California to Tampa,
York.
Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we're on the same continent. You know that, right?
No,
This is your.
no, we're not.
To quote The Simpsons, who would know Canada all tucked away down there?
Yeah, Canada is a continent of its own.
Feels like it sometimes. Especially when it
All
comes
alone.
to tours. Jesus Christ. Case in
No
point.
love.
Although, you know what? I think I'm happier knowing that they didn't come to Toronto, because if I'd read it wrong and they did come to Toronto, I'd be like,
Then you'd be pissed.
fuck.
Yeah, that's how we were with Verathron.
So I'm still disappointed, but at least I don't feel like a moron. Well, not more than usual.
But yeah, other than that, I've just been, you know, I'm in my Louis arc now. Since I've come out of the Frasier era, so a lot more bite size. At least it's not 11 seasons long. I'm like already almost done with it.
And the episodes
Okay.
are kind of short too.
Yeah, there's
Have you seen the official trailer for the Frasier reboot?
no.
Are you talking about the horror movie Frasier?
No, but that thing was cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I saw that. It has clips of that that movie where Niles is like a fucking murderer.
Yeah, it's a
think
convincing looking trailer though.
It is, yeah.
Like it's well done. But
You
no,
hear
I
in
meant
the
the I meant
distance-
the actual trailer for the Frasier reboot.
No, I haven't seen it.
I'm not gonna lie, it looks like it could be funny.
Awesome.
I'm gonna hold off on words like awesome. I'm just gonna stay cautiously optimistic. Let's
get you,
let's go with that. But what
Cautiously,
I've seen,
yeah.
he looks like he's in character. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll give
I
it a
guess
shot.
we'll see.
I'll give it a
I'll
shot.
probably give it a shot too. Got nothing else to watch.
it's not going to be artless.
Heartless?
I don't think so.
No, that page you sent to us, the Frasier dictionary. That's one of the words.
That's a great page.
No, it really is. It's you get to learn.
I haven't seen
You
that.
get to learn with your best pal
You
Frasier.
get to learn and laugh.
Doesn't Frasier use the word patootie quite a few times?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I just feel like he makes them up.
Mix them up?
No, makes them up.
Oh, not patootie's a real word.
But
Like Kier patootie.
I've
Yeah.
been listening to Archon and Faustus all week. I don't know why.
Which one? The first
They're
one?
kind of all over the place actually. All of them. Like they're a solid band.
I think I've only heard the first one. I remember liking it pretty good. It's pretty fucking just extreme, I guess.
Yeah, the first one's pretty wild.
It's like basically war metal, right? At least that one is.
Yeah, war metal with a lot of thrash in it as well.
I always like their band picture too.
I saw them live once, and it was fine, but my car got broken into, so
oof.
not fond memories. Through no fault of theirs, I guess, unless they're the ones that broke into it, but it feels doubtful.
Quick while we're playing.
I think Deranged actually toured with these guys.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think they did in '98 or something like that.
Okay.
Which album would you recommend? This second one, Perdition
For Archon?
Yeah, for Archon, yeah.
The first one's really cool. It's very, very violent. I don't have the second one,
Yeah.
so I'm not super familiar with it, but Perdition is really good. Perdition and Sane, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I remember that cover. That one's not so offensive. The second one is the one with the like stitched up mom and the baby.
That one has a bad case of the 2000s.
Yeah, man, these covers they just aren't doing it.
The first cover, you know what? It's drawn, so I can let it slide. But the second one is so poor CGI that it's a little cringe.
Somebody actually submitted a release for the label, and it's got a cover that looks like this.
But you know what? It'll never be as bad as Iron Maiden's Dance of Death.
I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Dance of
So,
Death. How the fuck far down is that?
I think it was like 2004 2004?
Oh, here it is, 2003. Yeah, that looks really, really bad.
So I think the story for that was it was supposed to be the like
This
that
looks like
was supposed to be like a mock-up of what the artwork was supposed to look like, and then they was like, perfect, let's go. And the artist is like, wait, what?
yeah, it
So
looks
I think
like fucking Dark
whoever
Soul
did
characters.
it is like whoever did it.
It does look like Dark
distanced
Soul
himself from it.
characters.
Except for my man Eddie.
It looks like that doesn't even look like Eddie. That's not even Eddie.
That person on the right though, that's pointing to Eddie, it's just so awkward.
This looks like Roller Coaster Tycoon or something.
Yeah,
Oh, it's so bad.
I like the baby though.
I hate
like-
babies on album covers.
Half standing, sitting on that dog
Yeah.
wolf thing.
It looks like the dog from fucking Toy Story.
Yeah, it does. They probably copy pasted that.
I like the dude behind the dog with the ox mask or whatever the hell that's supposed to be.
Dude, and then the dog's like standing on a snake.
Yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with this.
Gets worse every time you look.
Yeah, the longer you look, the worse it is. I like
Oh, yeah,
Goblin in
Paul.
the forefront in the red pants. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Paul, I wanted to mention that Talk to Me. That was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, well, I've been hearing a lot about it when and been wanting to watch it, and I guess I watched it about 2 weeks ago now, and yeah, it was giving me like the same sort of vibes as like Hereditary and stuff like that, just with how like in your face it is, like with the killing parts and shit.
I feel like when I watched it was the perfect time to watch it. Like 10:30 after practice, like just getting ready for bed. I don't know. It was like a perfect atmosphere.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh yeah, you should watch this, and he's like, he's like, yeah, this is pretty good. It's like 30 minutes later.
I was enjoying it. Usually I can't get into shit. I'm usually like bored out of my mind. It's rare that I find something that that I can stick with and enjoy.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
Yeah, decent horror movie. How would you even call? What would you even call that? Like summoning dead spirit. It's like a Ouija kind of thing.
Yeah, they're like talking to. They say like a medium's hand is
Yeah,
casted
you
in
go.
there, and they're able to like talk to spirits and shit. But it's like a sort of drug for these people.
Oh, I know. Yeah, the way they're doing it, it's fucking all like like they're partying.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
It feels like forever since I've watched a horror movie.
What's
To
the
get
last
back on
horror
that.
movie you watched that you liked?
Jeez, I don't even know.
thought you were metal.
Sorry?
I said I thought you were metal, man.
I'm sorry. Fuck you, Paul. Kill yourself.
Jeez. I think the
What about
last movie I
Reanimator?
saw.
Did you like that?
I mean, yeah, but that's not exactly new.
No.
No,
I
that
just
was a
mean
fun
any
movie.
good one. Doesn't have to be new.
I'm sure I watched something on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something, but I don't remember what or when it was.
Did you ever see the kind of follow up to Reanimator? What was it called? From Beyond. Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I have that on VHS.
Yeah, that one's good.
Yeah. Did you ever see Reanimator, Paul?
Yeah.
Man, those are I usually don't like horror movies as movies, but those are just like actually good.
Yeah, they are. Dead Alive too. I remember watching that at the same time I watched those.
I wouldn't say Dead Alive is a good movie, but it's definitely entertaining.
Yeah. It's just
The
over
Peter
the top.
Jackson. Mm-hmm. Dead
A
Alive.
movie I've been
and,
wanting to revisit was Galaxy of Terror. That was a great movie.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I thought you were gonna say Galaxy Quest.
I mean, that's
Is
a
that the
good
one
movie.
with Tim Allen?
Yeah.
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Yeah. Galaxy
No.
of Terror.
Yeah, I think that was it was kind of cool.
Poster looks cool.
The poster has absolutely nothing to do with the movie.
Gotcha.
It's one of those. But basically, these people wind up getting to a planet or something where it just kind of manifests their worst nightmares, basically.
Also like Solaris.
Yeah,
oh, so
kinda.
like Star Trek.
Oh,
That
so
too.
like,
so like Journey to the Seventh Planet.
But much
Oh,
cornier.
it's like
so
Futurama.
I enjoyed it.
yeah.
So I have a mouthful
I
of
need to find this
salmon.
movie. Used to be on Amazon Prime, and now it's gone because they just take things off randomly.
Yeah, they don't give you the countdown like Netflix. But
Yeah, they let you know what's leaving this month.
yeah, but I was
No.
gonna mention oh, go ahead. Fred?
No,
There he is.
I had nothing.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say yeah, Daniel's been mince core now. He's eating full vegan because the tummy, huh?
Yeah, I went back to the doctor because, like, I don't know, I just been feeling like shit. It's not going away, the ulcer. And they tell me that, oh, your diet's like all wrong. You're not supposed to be eating red meat. You're not supposed to be like drinking soda or fried food. And like that's all I've been eating. I've just been eating like regularly. It's like, oh, no wonder not getting any results here.
Yeah, and that you had a brave face at the show. You're, drinking the Stella Artois.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be drinking that, but I was anyways. I didn't know. I because they when I originally went, they told me just to avoid spicy food, and so I have been. And then I go back and they're like, "Oh no, just eat like mostly fruits and vegetables and stuff."
Just
And
avoid everything.
What's going on with this?
basically, I looked it up and said like no chocolate. And I remember I went to the market like a week ago and I ate a whole thing of fucking Milk Duds. Um, yeah, Raisin Canes like twice a week, fish and chips. Yeah, like fried foods and
Yeah,
all the stuff
the
not
Jack
supposed
in the Box.
Yep, that right after Bax X have a fucking buttery Jack with those like rotten French fries.
Oh yeah, yeah. They took their time, but they just were not cooked through all the way through.
I don't know that I don't know that they were even. It feels like they were sitting out for like a day and a half. That's what the texture was. They were like rotten fries.
Yeah.
Were they like crumbly on the inside? That's the worst.
No, man, they were just like hard, like not crispy hard, but just like hard and chewy,
Yeah. It was like
like
you're
a piece
eating.
of like a piece of bubble gum.
Yeah, not a
French
fan.
fries with the texture of chewed bubble gum. So yeah, now I'm eating like like some kind of friggin' hippie mince core.
Yeah, I get tacos.
Except like they have a salmon and skinless chicken. So
Well,
maybe I'll get a speedy
sounds like fun.
recovery after a week or two of eating better, as opposed to like 3 to 4 weeks eating shit.
so it's only a temporary switch.
Say what?
So it's only a temporary switch over.
think you got your
I have no-
lifestyle now.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a lifestyle change, not a diet.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll have to just kind of play it by ear, play it by taste, so to speak. But
It is time to get to the album.
Ruh-roh.
all right, Paul, you've been kind of taking the lead, so keep on fucking, sailing.
Yeah, we're just gonna sit back this week. You do all the heavy lifting.
Yep.
All right. Well, this
I'll
one.
chime in.
Just mute yourself, boys.
Okay.
This one is Deranged, Rated X, the Swedish brutal death metal band with this album.
How brutal are they?
Fucking brutal.
Right. Oh, how they're fucking brutal.
So Deranged, fucking brutal.
You shithead Bill Burr.
Yeah, it comes out on Repulse Records, 95. This is coming out a little late for brutal death metal. I guess like Mortician was out at 91, and yeah, they had Suffocation and blah blah blah. But these guys do it in a more raw, interesting way. I feel like when I was trying to listen to more bands like this, I couldn't really find anything because like there was like a weird jump from like 95 on where like got better production and more technical instead of like being over the top death metal. Because I know Daniel and I, before we started talking about music like in a, I guess, a serious way.
Are you gonna bring up the super death metal thing?
Yeah. We
Okay.
put this in a category called super death metal, which was super death metal.
Yeah, stupid death metal. Give me that little girl.
And yeah, it the Rushmore is what's it called? Appalling Spawn, Cataclysm, and just over the top like savage, fast, brutal death metal, basically.
I basically categorize it as death metal that goes above and beyond. Super death metal.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, and these
I like it
guys
a lot.
fit the bill.
For some reason, I put Traumatic's first demo in there. Maybe because the vocals are so darn heavy.
Yeah, the
The
vocals,
vocals had
are
a
amazing.
real like death grind gurgly feel to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, Appalling Spawn has it. This band has it.
I was
Done
looking
by
in
the
the
vocalist
I was looking in the
Per.
comments.
or Per.
Yeah, per. I
Per.
was looking in the comments. They're like, oh, Banish vocals. I was like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, let me listen to that. And yeah, straight up, sounds exactly like that shit.
It's hard to do. How do you even do that? Your brother used to be able to do that pretty well.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's his name does that too? Ross from Exhumed
Hmm.
and Impaled. He does that.
Yeah, but it's like, I think this is the only album that had,
This guy.
Piranha, yeah. All the earlier stuff too, like Architects of Perversion, that was really good. It was a lot more melodic, actually, from what I was hearing. It was pretty good, but I think they stripped like all that away for like really, really dark. Like it had like a black aura around it. Like when just listening to this, it just feels like ugly and like stripping away everything that isn't, just brutal and shit.
It feels the way the album cover looks. I think,
Yeah, and
Yeah, it represents
or
it
it
well.
sounds. It sounds the way the album cover looks.
yeah, and you guys listen to like High on Blood and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I listen to High on Blood.
Like it's like they kind of lose that touch. I feel like they get a lot, a little bit more proficient with how they're playing.
Yeah.
Of course they have the the riffs and shit that sound exactly like from Rated X, and they'll even have that further and further down, like on that I think it's their fifth album, Plainfield Cemetery. They go a lot more brutal death metal, modern sounding, but
Yeah,
they
that one's really modern.
yeah, but they still have that that distinct style with at least the guitar riffs. But yeah, the only way I can sort of describe the riffing, it sounded like a fucking like swarm of bees. Shit.
Africanized
I would say that,
honeybees.
I think I would say Carcass has a lot to do with the riffing here.
Hmm. Yeah,
'Cause
and-
Carcass does a shitload of like nonsensical hammer-ons, like the like this band does that a lot.
yeah, it's like a whole riff.
Yeah, Zizma does that a lot too, and I don't think this band is probably. I mean, maybe because this band is kind of like gore grindish. I think they might have taken influence from Zizma because like the way that Zizma did the Carcass type riffs, they did them in a like obscurely upbeat, happy sounding kind of way, and I feel like these riffs do that a lot too.
Yeah, it's like the band name kind of says it. It's like a deranged sort of like happy, like weird, weird type of happy. Not joyful in any way. Just kind of like, I guess, happy with their sadism and shit. But
Yeah, it comes from that era when brutal death metal was, well, like you guys said, super death metal, just like a super heavy version of it without going into the slam sort of bullshit that
Yeah, it like kind of doesn't
brutal death
exist
metal
yet.
gets associated with. Yeah, exactly. So from that, I hear a lot of suffocation here, obviously,
yeah,
but it really felt like some like they came later, but vomitory stuff.
yeah, and obviously like Cannibal Corpse too, with like
Yeah,
that chromatic
Cannibal Corpse is a-
riffing.
Yeah.
Yep, Cannibal Corpse is a big one. This isn't going to be an influence. I just think this album has a like the atmosphere is very similar to the first Malignancy album. I think
Mm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
in kind of the way that it's just so all over the place. And like, I mean, this thing isn't as all over the place as Malignancy, but then again, Malignancy is like 4 years later.
Yeah, no, these guys are like really focused. Like they have like the grooves, they have like the really fast hammer-on riffs, and like the string skipping riffs as well. They're like in the octaves and shit. And then
Yeah,
they
this thing, it's really melodic actually.
yeah they have like those really well done solos too, and they also have like the chugs in there too, and like they have some breakdowns like towards the later half of the album.
Yeah, there's like a super melodic breakdown like during the last song before the fucking Rolling Stones cover.
Yeah, and I love that cover. They,
It's, you know what? I'm just happy it's at the end of the album.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, what's Fred gonna think of this one? Because it's not
I
a
think
metal cover, you know, but they made it their
I
own.
think it kind of I think it works. They
Yeah,
do make
I
it
don't
their own.
necessarily have a problem with the cover itself. I think it sounds fine, but if they had put that in the middle of the album, that would break the flow really badly.
Oh yeah,
That's what I really hate about that sort of thing, right? Sometimes I just don't like the cover. In this case, I do like the cover. It's fine, but it would break that flow of the album, right? And that's what I hate when they do.
yeah.
But they didn't, so that's fine.
And then I was like reading an interview, and like the drummer was like saying, I guess because he's like one of the only original members in the later Deranged, where they just sound like way more modern death metal, brutal death metal, even beyond like the Plainsfield Cemetery stuff, where it's like I think a completely new band now. It's like different members entirely. I don't think that drummer's in there anymore. But yeah, he was just saying they were asking him about like the lyrics and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, we're just writing about the same old love songs." But yeah, like I wanted to mention the lyrics on here. They're just like kind of goofy and shit. It's funny.
Semen demon tickle my urethra.
Unblush, unpure, erection is close. Now my white rum curls.
Piercing deeper through your muggy cave. Your sloppy breasts keep dashing into the razors.
Worm eating bitches. Light cuts into scares. Last time I cried, bowels were rotting in decay.
Whoa. Fuck, kill, piss, shit.
Urine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the riffs on here, like in black
Under mother,
semen,
play your drums.
black semen vengeance though, like that groove riff in there, dun 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 dun.
Boom, ba, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
that's
so
like
sick.
that's like the carbonized riff. Doom, ding, doom. They do the same thing,
Yeah,
but like, you know, doom, ding, doom, doom, ding, doom, ding, doom, and then it goes boo doo dee doo doo dee doo 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 dee doo 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 dee.
you sound like the Locust now.
Well, that's the way. Well, carbonized is kind of like the Locust. We could have mentioned that so many episodes ago.
Damn.
I actually really like the instrumental track Climax.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a real like Baphomet Banished riff right in the middle of it. It's like a chugging sort of deal.
Yeah, and again with the album that just starts. Thank God.
Yeah. I appreciate
Well,
that
it has the intro, but it works so well.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not saying like it's like not a neoclassical bullshit.
Yeah. It's not like a 4-minute long violin piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, these samples work really well. I hate you, Jeffrey.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the samples are really good too. Like we're gonna listen to I'm the Love Undertaker, and has a sample in there, but it's like during or before and during the song. They do something pretty interesting with it. And let's see, how did I come across this band? I think Daniel. I don't know. If
I know how we came across it.
Yeah, you could say it, but I was just like wondering, like, did you know about them before?
No, did you?
No. So yeah, go ahead.
There was I think you might be able to find it on YouTube. I think this is a Beelzebub documentary, like a death metal documentary. and they had some interviews with a few bands like Amon, like I don't know why, but they had like Amon Amarth and like kind of unrelated artists, and then they would show like music videos of random death metal bands throughout this documentary. I think it used to be on Netflix. So what I remember they had was this one, the Deranged Killing Spree video,
Hemorrhage.
and then Hemorrhage, yeah, the Mortuary Riot
Yeah.
video, and that was the first time that I had heard Hemorrhage too.
Yeah, we were watching this in one of those
They were so
Xbox,
fucking brutal.
one of those Xbox Live Netflix parties.
Yeah, where like your characters are in the movie theater watching a movie.
Yeah, we're just like watching the
Yeah,
death
we're
metal
watching that.
documentary. And yeah, we're just like watching a Killing Spree video, and for some reason, you know, we don't look at the lyrics as it's playing, and you know, the part where he's saying like killing spree, over and over again over the riff that's like
Killing Spree.
yeah, it's like yeah. So we're not listening to we're not reading the lyrics along with the shit, and we think that he's saying yeah brains.
Yeah, I'm like, what is he saying? Yeah, brains. Yeah, brains.
Ah, shit. Those
But yeah, this
Sometimes
was
it's
too
better for
brutal.
brains.
This was too brutal. Hemorrhage was too brutal at the time. I was like, it was so it drew me in right away when we saw this music video. I'm like, dude, this is really fucking heavy. And if you haven't seen the music video for Killing Spree,
it's one of the best.
it's one of the better ones. Yeah, it looks terrific. Their singer is like sitting in a chair, like spinning around. It's amazing.
I
Yeah,
have
and they're
not
like,
seen this. I'm
oh,
intrigued.
you haven't seen that?
No.
Dude. They have like a sick little computer part where they're just like typing and then it shifts to him saying killing spree. But yeah, I was reading that interview and they're saying that they did that like in a abandoned farmhouse, and they're like, oh, how was, you know, shooting the video? And then the drummer was like, oh, you know, we were doing like the lip syncing and just trying to look mean.
It's honest.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's. I was gonna tell you, or I was gonna ask you guys. I was like, what are some other good and bad metal music videos?
Good and bad ones?
Because this one's a great one.
I mean,
I
black
like the
metal's a
Cemetery.
treasure trove, right?
I like the Cemetery music video
Yeah.
for the Rivers of Madness or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I've seen that one.
It's like it's a Swedish death metal band, Cemetery.
Yeah.
And they have like the band is like playing in a cave, and the singer is super young looking. He kind of just looks like some little fat kid, and he does this fucking epic guitar solo, like on top of a rock with a bunch of smoke like surrounding him. And it's like kind of it's a shitty guitar solo, but the way they like reverb it sounds amazing, and it's just an interesting video of them like running through a cave, and I think they're like chasing a chick through a cave or something, and they kill her, something like that. I think Mordecus had a good music video too.
Interment too.
Interment, yeah, that's a good music video.
I've always been a fan of the black metal videos. They
Like Trollek.
I'm specifically thinking of Maniac Butcher because that was just something else.
The Master's Hammer music video is pretty good. Genevieve.
That was messed up.
The
I was gonna say
what else is there?
the Neolithic one.
For
Not
Love?
really metal, but
Well, I mean, they are a death metal band. I think that song was just their attempt at like kind of mainstream butt rock.
yeah.
But they had a great. You know who that band is, Fred? Neolithic from Poland.
I know them, but I don't listen to them much, or at all for that matter.
Yeah, they have a terrific music video for a
And-
song called Love.
And song's great.
Yeah. It's they like rented out a fucking. It looks like
Warehouse
a
or something.
warehouse or cafeteria or something, and they hired a bunch of chicks to like be their crowd as they're like lip syncing and stuff. So they're like dancing and shaking their butts and stuff. It's a terrific video. It's so funny that they chose to do that as a like artistic styling.
Yeah, it was actually a really good video.
Also, also in this music video, it switches from them playing live to a bunch of girls dancing to all of them taking turns driving a Cadillac down the street. Yeah, that's what it is.
And then I heard you mention For Love by Crematory.
No, I didn't mention that.
Oh, I thought you said For Love, but you said, I guess you
I don't know. I don't know
said
what
that
I
in
said.
another way. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really really funny one. You know who that is, right? Fred Crematory, the Poland.
German one, right?
Oh no, yeah. You're right. The German one, the one who became like kind of gothic or something.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the music video for? It's called For Love. Did
No,
you see that?
my experiences with the German crematory are fairly slim.
I'll have to. Well, we have to remember to send that. It's like they keep their original singer, their original like death metal vocalist,
He's
and
not
then they
doing
add
much.
then they add another guy who's like doing like clean singing, and they're singing this like love song, and he kind of pops in and out, like doing karate moves and doing the vocals.
And it gets so fucking intense, like,
Yeah, it
as
gets
it goes
so
along.
intense. Yeah, as it goes along, at like as they show him, he's like dancing, doing he's doing movements like
Jack Black.
like Sylvain from the fucking Cataclysm
Oh, yeah,
Awakener
yeah.
video. He's doing shit like that.
Good video, too.
Couldn't feel your love, couldn't feel your love. I would die if I couldn't feel your love.
Yeah, and it's like this other guy's like kind of like a Chris Cornell looking guy.
Yeah, you got like a grunge guy. They're switching back and forth. The camera is panning to them, like kind of like waving. It's almost like the camera's on a swing, and it goes to the one singer to this like fat guy doing death metal vocals. It's really funny.
There's there was a comment on the Swedish crematory had the EP Denial on YouTube, and hang on, I'm trying to find it. There's one of the members of the German crematory, I think it was one of the members anyways, commented on it and just said that they're a cover band and they're not the real crematory.
All right.
Hang on. Yeah, here we go. Marcus Julich. So, he commented, attention, this is a Swedish cover band and not the original crematory from Germany. And then he just wrote the word happy. And there's like 23 comments after that. But everyone's like, but they were around longer than, or before you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And
But they
they're
were around
better
a
than you
whole year. They are better. They're a way better death metal band. And yeah, they were around for a whole extra year before the other crematory was around.
One of the comments, I once listened by mistake to the German crematory and I grew boobs.
Whoa. The German crematory is it's like the first album. I want to say it's like kind of decent, boring death metal. It's decent, boring, atmospheric death metal. That's what I can say.
Hey, the guy from Swedish crematory commented after. I
Really?
started crematory Sweden in 1988-89 and the German crematory came after us. So it's just bullshit what you are saying.
Oh, dude, I didn't realize they were that old. Okay, so that's like fucking like 3 more years.
Had to clear that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, I know the German crematory was death metal at the beginning, but I haven't even really... I remember giving it like a cursory listen at some point and just being like, yeah, okay.
No, it's exactly as I described. It's decent, boring, atmospheric death metal. That's what it is.
Serviceable.
Yeah.
The
And then they go into something hilarious.
yeah, the music video is worth the watch.
I don't want to forget that. I'll send that to you guys.
And then
You guys seen the video for the Swedish band Arcanum?
Yeah.
Garda van Trulen?
Yeah,
He's
it's
walking
classic.
around in the troll mask. Like, that's my favorite part. my favorite part is that he's trying to emulate that he's singing these vocals in a mask that doesn't move. So all the vocals are being accentuated through arm movements the whole time. It's fantastic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. I like he makes like extra noises. He goes baka baka, and he's like, yeah. It like echoes so much that these vocals kind of it works when you like put so much reverb on them. If you don't, it sounds like Christian yelling in the fucking shop.
Yeah, getting back to Deranged though.
Who?
Deranged.
I'm deranged.
They had like the drumming on here. There's like no fills in here except for like that one little like gallop kick snare
Yeah.
thing, and I love it.
Dude, I was gonna bring that up. I didn't get a chance, but I was gonna ask you if you noticed the fucking big country drum beat.
Yeah.
It goes in a big country, dreams stay with you like a lover's voice.
Yeah, it was
Then they
like,
do the, like,
all over this. It's like every like
Yeah,
fourth
like,
count of a riff, it'll do it.
it's like the tail end of every blasting riff or thrash riff. Even some of the slow ones, you'll get like da 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 boom, like that's the end of every single thing. That fucking drum beat. It's interesting, isn't
I
it?
love it.
I always thought there like that album had something kind of special to it, or had something that made it unique. And I think that's a huge part of it, that they fucking do that. That's why it's so like off time,
Yeah,
like in a weird way.
because like I picked that shit up from this shit. You know, I kind of do that shit too, but not to like every single fucking fill.
I didn't notice it until today.
Yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. I love that shit. It stood out to me like the first time we listened, you know, to Killing Spree and shit like that, because it's all over that track.
I guess like I always noticed it, but not to the point where it was conscious. Like I always thought their songs were cool, and then I actually, was listening to it, and I'm like, they keep doing that every song over and over again. They do that like every riff.
Yeah.
Did you notice that, Fred?
I will now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like every single riff, they're gonna be blasting, and it's gonna end with like every single time.
No, it's sick. Like I can't like it's so simple, and it just like takes you out of it and then brings you right back in. It's like a snaps you into like a whiplash. It's sick.
I wanted to ask you this, Paul, because you brought this up like early when we just started talking about the album. You said that this is kind of late for brutal death metal, like as opposed to like Suffocation, right?
Yeah.
Is there any other bands that you would? Because to me, I would say this is still kind of early, like versions of fucking brutal death metal. This year, '95 is still kind of like early versions of it. No.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, you know, the foundation was already set before them. It's not like they were reinventing anything. They did take it into a different direction, but you know, eventually falling into the modern brutal death metal as we know it. And that's why it's like in a different category. Like I still think our categorization of like it being super death metal is like actually valid, rather than it being just straight brutal death metal, where it's like a lot more influence with you know, like hardcore and shit like that. Even though there are like some slam riffs here and there, some chugs, it's more filtered just through death metal rather than, you know, hardcore, I think, which is a big
Yeah.
difference. Because you know, Internal Bleeding is coming out the same year with their like, you know, hardcore death metal, brutal death metal album and shit. So it's like it's right here is like where it's like moving into like the technical, well produced brutal death metal. Because it's not like anything that's like 98, 99, like Regurgitation and who else? Like you said, Malignancy too.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's just like in like a weird middle space where it's like not completely defined yet.
I like this middle space.
No, it's sick.
Yeah, I always still kind of considered this era to be like old school death metal, even 90, probably up to 96, I would say.
Yeah, I think 97 is like the
97.
cutoff.
Yeah, 97 is probably the cutoff. But yeah, I like how death metal this thing is, and it's interesting that they're I found it interesting when like European bands like go for the brutal death metal sound. There's always still kind of the like Entombed and Dismember like foundation in there, even though they're kind of like taking it beyond, to where American bands are taking it.
Yeah, find it interesting, especially a Swedish death metal band coming, past that, where they don't even really have like the D beat sort of thing. They're just kind of doing like the, Slayer thrash beat, blast beats, that weird fucking gallop fill, and like the brutal death metal, or I guess like the Dave Lombardo like breakdown, where it's like they have that all over there too.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot of the ride like bell thing.
Yeah, and
Eh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say even well, Fred brought this up, the song "Climax," and in that song in particular, there's like a moment that sounds like really identical to the last song on the Dismember first album,
Hmm.
"In Death Sleep." Like that, the ending is like this big
Oh.
doomy thing,
Oh yeah,
and there's like a
Yeah,
riff
yeah,
on there
yeah.
that resembles it like a lot.
yeah, I
I
could see
guess
that.
that's not hugely surprising, right? I mean, given where they come from.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
There was
Like
going to be
with,
some
with,
influence
with
of that in there somewhere.
yeah, of course. Well, there's a lot of it actually. There's a lot of like with kind of the thrash beating and some of the tremolo riffs, but the tremolo riffs that they do, they're like cut off very early,
Mm.
or they're like cut off by that like Zizma carcass hammer on thing that they're like cut off by those.
Yeah, they always have like a tail end to the riffs that are like something different. I think they have like some 3-parter riffs too, where it'll just be like that Swarm of Bees type of riff, and then they'll go into like a chug, and then do the little hammer-on thing. Um, I was gonna mention also that like this is a more known album, but I think it's like overlooked or underrated definitely for what it is.
Yeah. I would say so. I mean, how known is Deranged? Do people ever really talk about them?
Not really. Like, when it comes to Swedish death metal, it's not a name you see mentioned too often. Well, I mean, they don't have the same sound as a lot of the other Swedish death metal bands too, right? So they wouldn't
No, but not even
fit
really
in
like
that sense. But
not even some of the other uh like Swedish death metal bands that kind of go off into the like American sound. Like I feel like I hear more about like Defaced Creation than I do about these guys, or like
or Seance.
Oh yeah.
yeah, or maybe like Excruciate or something, you know?
Yeah, these guys are, they're going into like the brutal death metal sort of lane too, so that kind of takes them, further out from the conversation of like, regular death metal, I think too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
even a band
from
like
Sweden,
Iniquity,
I kind of put them
too.
in. I kind of put them in the same bag as Vomitory, right?
Hmm.
I feel like,
Especially
probably less so.
after that first album, when they for albums more like Terrorize, Brutalize, Sodomize, it sounds a bit more like what Deranged are going for here, but totally tangential. But I love Deranged logo.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
way
the
those
logo
letters
looks
in the
terrific.
middle of the word kind of just like arc into this semicircle. It looks awesome.
Yeah, Deranged logo looks fucking cool. Semicircle.
Yeah, or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, and then
but
they go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I learned about these guys because they were released on Repulse Records, and when I started digging into death metal, this is one of the first labels I latched onto, and so I started digging through their releases, and it's a good place to start. I mean, there's a lot of good shit on that label.
What do they have?
Like
Scattered Remains.
I never found a copy of this back in my early days, and I still don't have a copy of it. But like Centinex, Demilich was reissued on it. Heads
The,
Heads,
the Darkified compilation.
yeah, Darkified.
That's a good
There's
one.
like the early Avulse stuff, Deeds of Flesh, early stuff too. Like there was a lot to sink your teeth into on this label, but
Bremelin.
And it was
Yeah.
funny also, like, the original singer left after this album, and he ended up actually releasing some of their later shit because he started his own label, Regain Records. So he released like High on Blood.
oh no way.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty funny. You get a couple of issues of that. Yeah, it looks like 4 issues of the fucking High on Blood, and then the Red Light Murder case too. But yeah, I just thought it was cool that they were able to stay in contact, even though he didn't want to do vocals or be a part of the band anymore to actually
Yeah, that's
release
cool. I
their
didn't know
shit. Yeah. And it was saying like he was like a partner with this guy named Wes, part of Wrong Again Records. If you heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do like
they're,
Cryptopsy and shit like that.
Well, Eucharist
Yeah.
debut. That was their first release on there. What a way to start.
Mm-hmm. Well, they do In Thy Dreams
Yeah, that is
too.
a hell of a way to start. In Thy Dreams
make
is
a
really
mistake.
good. I don't come back to them as much as I should, but they're pretty great.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought
Which
it was
release, that pink one?
yeah, that purplish one with the faces.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, with this record, man, it's like every song like just starts off fucking banger, 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 banger all the way through. And I feel like I liked it more so towards the end of the record. Like I really liked Razor Tongue, I'm the Love Undertaker, As a Wolf, you know, and then that instrumental too, 16 and Dead. And then they just put a little death metal grindcore fucking painted black at the end.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and I don't know because like they're not doing too much different things across this album. Like they have their components that they're using, but it's like with that you can do like so much variation with it, and they don't bring like those chugs and slams until way later in the album too. So it's like it's just entertaining all the way through. Like I wasn't like a single song didn't take me out of it. Even instrumentals, which I tend to not really like too much.
You don't even notice them, really.
Yeah,
No,
You
they're
kind of
done
don't
really
notice
well
that
on
the
this album.
vocals aren't there.
yeah, and they're like fucking 7 minutes long almost. and I'm like, oh, this is fucking sick. Like all the riffs, you know, and the solos really peak out there. It's not just like a filler track or something where they couldn't put vocals over it or something. It actually like had a purpose to it, I think. Whereas like I don't really have I don't know, I just tend not to like instrumental songs or bands too much at all.
Yeah, me too. Here, like I didn't even really think about it. The album just kind of, it's so consistent. I think that's why it helps.
They
Like
flowed.
the
They
riffs.
flowed naturally. They didn't feel like they were shoehorned in.
Now, I don't really think anything on this album feels like it's shoehorned in. Everything kind of
No.
fits. It has a certain sound. That I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's well put
And like
together.
the bass, the way the bass and the guitar sound together, it sounds really like rubbery, and it's very consistent. Like having a
Rubbery.
very
I like that.
specific sound like that. It sounds rubbery and like bouncy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Even
a
with that drum
very
beat,
good. That's a very good descriptor. I never would have thought of.
Yeah, sounds like if you have like a I don't know, fucking rubber band or something. I don't know, rubber. Some
I
kind of
think-
rubbery thingy.
We need to describe albums as rubbery more often.
This one sounds rubbery.
It sounds rubbery. Yeah.
Sounds red
that.
and rubbery. The album cover has a rubber woman on the cover. She's
It
full
kind of reminded me of the reissue of the Catasexual Urge Motivation album.
Hmm.
One with I think the woman's like covered in leeches and just like screaming, covered in blood. So remind me of that.
Gotta look at
Yeah,
that real
that's
quick.
That's pretty good.
The original art for the Catasexual album is fucking weird. It's great.
Where they're like dangling.
Oh, okay, the Razorback one.
Yeah, the Razorback version with the leeches and shit.
Yeah,
This looks pretty good. That looks nice.
yeah, but let's listen to this song I chose.
Alright, boy.
You know, I was like, oh, you know, we can do Black Semen Vengeance, you know, but I was like, oh, let's, you know, do something a little later in the album. So I ended up choosing I'm the Love Undertaker. It looks like the 7th track. So we'll be right back.
You hear? She doesn't scream. She doesn't feel pain. Turn her around. This girl loves to smell the excrement of a man. And of course, more. She eats it. She smears her body with it. She is happy. Like with a drug. She is ecstatic. She masturbates. She comes.
Alright, we're back. Fred?
Yeah, it sucked.
Punk drum beats.
Drum fill, the only one. Signature drum fill.
There aren't any, like,
There's no toms on
drum
this
fills
album.
on this. Yeah, there's no toms.
It's just a.
Yeah, that's the only thing that he does to like end the
Release
riff
the
or to go
tension,
into
yeah.
a new riff. That's interesting.
Yeah, I
That's
love it.
really weird. Yeah, there are no toms on this. There's just that.
I think there's like a bit like on Black Semen Vengeance and Killing Spree, but like on this track,
There's
absolutely nothing.
yeah.
They have,
There's not a lot of them.
yeah, it's just that the snare, double kick, gallop, and then yeah, they have like that weird like 3/4 time, or at least to me it sounds off time. Riff, and that they go into like a slam too, and like we were saying earlier, that's where you can really feel the elasticity of this shit.
The rubberiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great part.
Rubber or flubber.
You know, I'm not gonna lie though. The part I could do without the
Sample?
sample. Yeah, didn't need to be there.
No, I thought it was cool that they did it during the song, and they didn't just like cut out. They're doing the tremolo over it, and and I'm not sure of any other bands doing the sample things during this time. I know it kind of took over brutal death metal after
We
this.
talked about the embryonic death intro sample.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this one's just talking about a girl rubbing shit all over herself.
And
As
coming or
one
something.
does.
Yeah. Freaking brutal.
Friggin' sweet. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see how we can compare this to some other like brutal death metal from Europe that still has the like Scandinavian sound, but is kind of venturing off into like more technical American styles. First one I thought of was fucking Iniquity. Their album comes out a year after this, but I think it's kind of similar in the sense that like they would become a brutal death metal band. It kind of in the same way as this band does. Like their first album is the one that still holds on to like the early '90s classic death metal stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first Iniquity album. Another one that Nick did a fucking like article on this Hessian firm. The Infernal Torment, the band from Denmark, their album comes out the same year as this. The Man's True Nature.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Do you remember that album cover?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's like a shovel in some lady's ass, and if she's decapitated, they're like at the park or something.
Yeah.
Yep. and the
Colorful.
dude has a wicked heart on. Yep. That is a great album. Great fucking album.
Yeah, man. It's really. Oh yeah, man. Look at that. She is beautiful, man. Look at that lovely corpse, man.
Got the shovel in the ass, man.
Oh yeah, man. I love it, man. I like it, man.
I like the kid on the slide who's like, what?
What? It's like that kid from Grown Ups 2, remember? It's like, I'm here for your daughter. Woo! No, that was stupid. Yeah, so we have that. We have Conquera from
Oh, yeah.
Denmark as well. The sexual affective disorder.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought that was an interesting album cover. Do you know what that is, Fred? Conquera?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you remember that album cover?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
It's weird.
Soy jacking.
He's soy jacking, yeah, but he's got like appendages coming out of his head, and I don't know. It's pretty strange.
The demon soy jack, yeah.
I've always
Sexual
been like
affective disorder.
I've always been like unsure. Like, is he impaled on something? Like,
Yeah, it looks like something's going up his butt or something.
yeah.
It kind of looks like the clown in Scary Movie 2 when he gets raped by Ray Ray or whatever.
But I think
Uh,
one band that made me think of as well, Uncreation from Spain. They released an EP on one of Repulse's sublabels, Death to Humanity, in '95 as well. And
what band was that?
Uncreation.
Uncreation. Oh yeah. That's another good one. That's the one
Yeah.
with the like big demon face on the comp, right?
I don't know the comp. The EP I'm talking about has like a stone like Mayan face or something on it.
Yeah.
that could
Well,
be
what I
that.
know is the comp. I do know Uncreation. Let's see if it's the same band I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Like a demon with like nuns next to it.
Yeah. That's what I heard. I heard this fucking comp. I don't know. 2011. It must have been around 2011 then when I heard it. Weird. Weird that it didn't stick with me, but I knew exactly what you were talking about when you brought up Uncreation. What the?
It's funny because I found this at a UCD store ages ago, and it's like one of those tiny 3-inch CDs.
Oh, the mini CDs, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So
a
I picked it up. I'm like, what the what?
it's like a GameCube CD.
What,
yeah.
what the what? Was that a Sal
Yeah,
reference?
exactly. That's it. I forgot the GameCube had those. Yeah, it's like a GameCube CD.
I think Praxism had that too for their something excursions.
Yeah, I've got
One
like
of
a
their
half-
damn excursions.
No, the
I've got,
album.
I've got like a half dozen of them or so something by now, but that was the first and probably still the best 3-inch CD I have.
Sick as hell.
I think a band that I was scavenging looking for something that sounded like this that I didn't already know, like the Appalling Spawn, obviously, and there's one band that I came across from Honduras, some South American band called I'm gonna butcher the shit out of this, Horcomostropus.
Horcomostropus?
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck to spell that.
What the what?
It's HORGKOMOSTROPUS. Put it in the puss.
This logo looks kind of familiar.
Yeah.
Which
I listened to the first demo with
Ah.
my man JC on it.
That's
my,
quite
yeah,
the-
JC.
No,
That
but
guy likes fucking Deranged too.
well, he's a fucking man.
Fucking the dog.
The dog likes man metal.
That's a fucking man shit.
Yeah, Deranged is man metal.
Deranged is like fucking precursor porno grind, dude. It's nasty.
Yeah, and that's another band I wanted to bring up too.
Oh, that's nasty.
That's a, cut it out.
That's got all my filth of the day in it.
Inferior too. Spawned at Dawn. It comes out this the EP brutal as fuck. Then they go into like porno grind afterward. So it kind of reminded me a bit of what Deranged did. They didn't go so lean into the porno grind, but definitely in the brutal death metal, which is kind of same subject matter anyway.
The band Gaffed have a pretty brutal fucking demo in 95. So that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
comparable, I think.
They're the crazy
it
gutturals.
They just put out an album.
It hurts to
didn't
be
they?
dead.
Die.
Yeah, I guess they did.
Why don't you fucking die already?
Why don't you
I-
fucking die already?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Die already.
I saw
Why
their
you gotta
album
be
get
such
released.
a?
I had no idea they were around that long ago.
Why you being such a bitch? Sorry, I was a Walter Jr.
Hey, Gaffed used to be called Blasphemy, spelled
Blasphemy.
With an
Hey, you heard this
A-M-Y.
new band? They're called Blasphemy. Yeah, it hurts to be dead. What else do we have? Mortal Decay has a fucking demo at that time, Brutalizing Creations. What else do we have? Skinless has a fucking demo, the one with the baby on it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting one too. Necrophagist has their demo in '95,
Mm-hmm.
and that's getting
That
up
one's
there
great.
with like technical. Yeah, that was terrific. What else do we have? Wicked Innocence is same year, the first album.
Fallen Christ.
Mole-
That
Fallen
shit's pretty
Christ?
crazy. It's 94 though.
Yeah. What else do you have in '94? You have the fucking Afterbirth demo in '94 too. Molested '95. That I don't know that that's like brutal death metal, but it is brutal. The fucking Molested album.
Nah, I don't know if it's brutal death metal either.
I don't think so. I was thinking
I don't
maybe,
think it is, but it has a production that makes you think of it though.
Yeah. I was thinking of the band Torture Crypt too. I never really thought of them as a brutal death metal band, but they're kind of getting up there, and they have a demo in '95. I think they have something before that. Paul, do you know who Torture Crypt is with a K?
Yeah, I was listening to them earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The
I was gonna
drumming's
say,
fucking crazy on there.
Yeah, man. I don't think we had ever talked about them before, but they're fucking solid.
Yeah.
Some of the other there was a couple other things that I
Oh,
caught.
Sorcery comes out 95 too.
Sorcery. Sorcery isn't brutal though, are they?
No, Cataclysm. Sorcery.
Oh, I thought you meant the fucking Swedish band.
Hmm.
Yeah, Cataclysm kind of had that weird mix between
This-
brutal and melodic. It was
That's what
weird
this is. I
combination.
think. I is it just me, Paul, or both of you guys? Is this fucking Deranged album like kind of melodic?
It definitely something to follow over like the
I feel like a lot of the notes are really high.
Yeah.
Whereas like later brutal death metal, you wouldn't get notes that are that high and like recognizable. I think that's a big part of like why it sounds like rubbery and bouncy is because that's also like Cryptopsy was doing too on their first album or first two albums.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of melody, but it's cloaked in that brutality that makes it not immediately obvious that it's
Yes,
there.
same. Well, maybe to a lesser extent, Cataclysm, but kind of the same with Cryptopsy. People kind of
Yeah.
don't really think of them as a melodic death metal band, but there's tons of melody in there.
Yeah, straight up.
There was a U.S. demo that Necrolatry, Within the Shroud of Misery from I want to say 93. It was kind of a death grind thing, had a bit of a brutal feel to it. That one kind of popped in my head a couple times.
Necrolatry. This
Yeah.
name sounds familiar, maybe not just because of the fucking vulgar Necrolatry.
There's a
Oh.
bunch of bands by that name, I think, but
Yeah, are you talking about the Dead and Buried one?
no, the other one. This one's from Cincinnati.
Death metal grindcore from Cincinnati. Okay,
The Dead and Buried demo is really good, though. That's an
This-
awesome demo.
this has the same album art as Maimed, the Maimed demo.
Hmm.
Yeah, the logo is really similar.
Yeah, and it's just like exactly like that. It's just a big logo on a white cassette tape.
Yeah,
But yeah, with some of the riffing too, with in Deranged, the album, there were some parts that I heard like shit that what Uncanny would do. If you remember that, the
Oh, yeah.
Splenium, whatever, Nictopia.
Yeah.
yeah.
Something like that, and then also the fucking Crypt of Cabarrus album has a lot of these like crawling, kind of melodic death metal riffs. Like even during the sample, I said behind the solo, it sounded like that could be a fucking Black Dahlia murder riff.
Yeah.
Like that's one of those like crawling kind of riffs.
And I love what they do because they have sections to riffs, right? And what they'll do for like a melodic section is like the next part they'll take like the tail end of that riff before it, and they'll just like loop that. Like you can hear that a lot in like um, Black Seaman Vengeance. They'll just like the next riff after like a really sectioned riff, they'll just like cut that in half and just play a loop of like the tail end to bring in another riff. It's like an interstitial riff, but continuing what was happening right before it.
Well, that's just genius songwriting.
It does the trick.
Yeah,
That along with the fucking big country drum beat that ends everything. It really is an interesting way to come into new riffs. Like both of those things together, the kind of looping tail end of riffs and then that fucking drum beat. It, it makes it so much more like every riff is kind of bouncing from one to the other. It's like being catapulted to the next riff or something.
Mm.
So you have time to kind of go back into a blast beat or any beat really.
yeah, because this they have a lot of just like four counts of a riff, and they'll bounce into another one that's 4 counts, and come right back into the riff that they're playing before. A lot of like A B structures going on with it, but they give each riff amount an amount of time to breathe, so you can like actually hear what's happening and be like, oh yeah, that part was that tail end of the riff is now the next riff, and they're coming back to the previous riff again. And it just gives it a lot of time to breathe and understand what the fuck's going on, even though it goes by so quick.
Yeah, you're right. I guess it's
Yeah, but do you guys have any final thoughts about this? We're coming up on the time already.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's going by quick.
I think it's one of those albums where it doesn't necessarily do anything drastically different from other bands around at the time. It just does it particularly well, and the production lines up well with what they're doing, and that kind of makes it stand out from them, even though it's from a musical perspective nothing super special, if that makes any sense. It sounds derogatory. It's not meant to be. It's just like they're not going out on any limbs with this album. It's just well executed, and that isn't as common as we necessarily like to think it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well worth listening to.
And it was like in an interview too, they were saying, why do you guys, what's the origin story of Deranged? And they're like, what's the goal when you guys making your music, and why you guys became a band? He's like, to please ourselves. We like music, so we're in a band. Like, just just making something that we wanted to hear, and like putting all those parts together and just coming with something really. I don't even want to say it's simple, but it's in a weird place between death metal and like brutal death metal, where it's not as like technical as it will be after this album, and even not as like hardcore influence, at least not directly, like obviously through like the Swedish influence of it, especially with the drum beats like we were pointing out during the sample. But yeah, like the riffing on here has always been a standpoint for every album that I liked from this band. And I feel like before this, the Architects of Perversion, they didn't really have that in there. It was more like sentimental, emotional melody, rather than this sort of like, I don't know, twisted, sick, deranged melody that they have in integrated in these riffs. They're not just like a lead guitar part. It's actually, you know, the riffs that they're entwining with these this weird like chromatic melody, as well as like having some chugs and heavy fast drumming with that drum fill that I love so much. And the vocals on here is like stand out for me because, you know, High on Blood,
Yeah.
great album, great music. Vocals don't do it for me like they do on here. They just give this album from front to back like a black aura that's like just feels evil, but like not in a black metal way, just like in a, I don't even know, just like demented sort of like I'm gonna fucking kill you type shit.
Yeah, like a sexually perverse kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. So it definitely leads into you know, brutal death metal really well, like in that like I said, that weird between period.
Even in a lot of ways, like this feels heavier than so many fucking brutal death metal bands that I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
And and yeah, you're right. It does have like this fucking kind of like happy to be evil, happy to be fucking deranged kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
This like black. The first song says it, the Black Semen Vengeance.
Yeah.
That's like the atmosphere that you get here. You get this sexually perverse, like happy to kill you, happy to fucking molest you or something, happy to rape you, and the sound on this too, man. It's totally. It feels way heavier than just a lot of a lot of like Suffocation clones.
Yeah.
Is what we can say there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's like that path to brutal death metal, and then there's like this offshoot where the bands like Appalling Spawn, Cataclysm, you know, and obviously Deranged are a part of, and some of the bands that you were mentioning too.
Yeah, like Conqueror and all that stuff. I feel like a lot of these are kind of on the same level of like really twisted, like, and as heavy as possible without the hardcore influence or without any kind of outside influence. Like this feels very metal. It feels very it feels really Swedish death metal, even though at some point it doesn't. It still has an old school atmosphere.
Yeah, it may fall in between like Gothenburg, you know, scene with that melodic death metal, at least like the earlier releases from that scene, and you know, the traditional Swedish death metal, but just like in a really perverse way. Not
Kind of like how there's no mysticism in this whatsoever. It's just rated X. It's snuff film, bad stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds bad, sounds heavy. If you put this on for like a normal person, it's jarring. I remember the first time I heard this, it was jarring. I immediately fucking loved it.
Yeah, if you're not gonna listen to this album, watch the music video at least for Killing Spree.
Yeah, brains, boy.
Yeah, because this is my first introduction to it, and I've, you know, still listen to it to this day, and that's why I picked it. It's such a fucking evil album.
Influence for Galicia, actually.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
It's a solid pick, Paul.
Solid dude.
Just end it on that.
You're a solid dude.